Recording. Good afternoon and welcome to our 46th Global Connectivity Conference on Real Estate for CIPS only. I'm very proud that we are coming along pretty good. We are breaking record. 46 consecutive months that we have joined and talk about real estate, building bridges, building partnership, and doing business with each other. So before we start the program, I'm going to ask Rory to introduce yourself, and then each one will take a turn, and then we talk about a few things, what happened in 24, and what our projections are for 25, how we learned lesson in 24. So Rory.
Okay. So my name is Rory. I'm in the Jacksonville, Florida, Northeast Florida area, close to the Georgia border. Was privileged to serve as president this year of my local board of 12,000 realtors. And next year I will be a district vice president for Northeast Florida, for Gainesville and Amelia and St. Augustine for 5 boards. And before I forget, I do want to let Antonio know that Port makes a great Christmas present, and I can send him my address, so that'll work. I've actually just booked my first trade mission for 2025. I'm going to be going with the Texas Board of Realtors, or the Texas Association of Realtors, my wife and I, to a trade mission to Panama for Aco Beer in January. So that's going to be the 19th through the 23rd. So I'm looking forward to that. With former NAR ambassador Juan Sosa, who some of you know. So we're looking forward to that. I haven't been to Panama before, so we're doing Panama Canal, Panama City, lots of development projects. So on the 47th Congressional Connectivity Congress, I will let you know how that went.
Fantastic, fantastic. It's always pleasure. Rory is one of the brilliant mentor, educator, and leader in real estate. And we're proud to have you with us and regularly joining our monthly conferences and bringing a lot of knowledge and experience and news about what's happening in his portfolio. Thank you very much, Rory. Now, Adriana, your turn. Please tell us about yourself.
Thank you very much. I am an agent with Coldwell Banker Realty here in Minnesota, and I have had some transactions international here in Minnesota with some of the people from Cuba. I have had people from Mexico. I have had people from Brazil. So it has been a good experience. But now I am trying to incur into the real international business and try to send you guys, Antonio and Rory and everybody that is outside of Minnesota, some referrals, and hopefully we will. Next year we are just trying to get more and more people that know us. And another thing is that this is just a dream just now, but I am trying to be the Antonio Barbosa in Mexico City. And I want to expand my business to Mexico City. My brother is incurring into real estate, and he lives in Mexico City. So we are planning to form a team, and hopefully it takes off. We are still in the beginning. We are in diapers. So that is the goal, but we don't know yet. So I will keep you posted, guys.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate you joining us. And
quick question. So Adriana, are you from Mexico City originally?
Yes, I am.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make
wonderful.
Yes.
So if you can amend there are 3 dots there, change it. Adriana, show the location where you are, just like Rory and myself are showing CIPS in Toronto, Jacksonville.
Okay, let me see if I can do that.
Yeah, there is a 3 dots on the right corner of your screen. Click on that. It says rename, and then you do that. So
okay,
thank you, Antonio. But I'm going to ask Adele because he was here before. Adele, could you please speak? And if you can turn on your photo, I will be appreciated.
Okay, well, I'm turning it right now. Welcome to all of you, and happy holidays and happy new year for all of you.
Thank you.
I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. Actually, I'm one of the two global CIPS instructors. I teach 13 commercial classes in here and in Dubai as well too. And we also do in EB5 projects. I mean, we done about $500 million projects for senior living and assistant living projects. And I will be having actually a big event in February in Dubai with our new office in there.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Antonio, your turn.
Hello, hi Tahir. It took a bit to get on or to turn on the microphone. Always a pleasure. Yeah, we just got done with a viewing appointment, so I said let me rush in and say hello before it's too late, because I think it's always nice. Thank you for putting this together. Always, Tahir. I think it's number 46, right?
46 consecutive months.
Wow, yeah, I've been on a few. I don't know how many, but I've accompanied, and it's always great. I love what you do, and it is what it is. Us realtors, what do we do? We have to door knock, right? This is another way of door knocking, and our best clients are realtor friends. So that's what it's about: sharing, networking, referrals. That's what it's about. That's what I love. So I thank you again for putting this together, and every chance I get. And Adriana, thank you for those kind words, my dear. It really is. It's just something that you start. You have a vision, a philosophy, a growth. Think of it as a business, bringing people to visit your beautiful country, or even Mexico, Riviera Maya, etc. That's something that we planned here in Portugal a long time ago. It was part of our business philosophy, and we are in our sixth year doing it already. So bringing we started off with realtors. Now we've opened it up to buyers and investors, and we've opened it up partnering with other rock star realtors. Like, for example, I think Rory, you got the information with Spencer, who we're doing a Portugal experience tour, no, a Vietnam experience tour. Why not Panama experience tour, etc. It's about connectivity, and that's what we do. I'm Antonio. Portugal is my home. CIPS Realtor, associated with YAPSI, ARIA, the Canadian Real Estate Association as well, global. These are all organizations that really, NAR, of course, great organization, tapping into their resources. That's what it's about. So, and it's always a pleasure when I'm around, on a stage here with many rock stars. And so, but yeah, Tahir, again, thanks for putting it together, and look forward to hearing not only about what's going on in your market as well in Toronto, right? Because things have heated up there, especially with interest rates, a lot of stuff going on. So I'm curious to know. And this is also a good forum we can also share about our own local market. So thank you, Tahir.
Thank you, Antonio. Antonio, anytime you want to see the type of booze or the drink that you want to, he has a display of all the bottles. Make a lot of friends jealous, celebrating in Barcelona, all over the place. Same as Rory, he's traveling all the time and sharing. It's all about connectivity. It's all about power of connectivity. The more we connect with each other now, and we know each other, and this is where the business is. You can't give business or make referral to a stranger. You can have a CIPS, but if you don't connect and bond with people, bring your trust, you never have that relationship. And this is why, for me, even one person show up is worth my time, because I get to see my CIPS partner. And this is why it's very important. We have done that. We have ups and downs. We have lots of people. Right now, there are lots of people on AI. That means a new way of recording information about the project, but it's not a face. We need to have a face to it. So about me, I am a broker record. We have a small City Pro Realty brokerage, and I happen to be a founder of City Pro Realty, and also I'm a founder of Canada Express Mortgage, because mortgage financing is related to real estate buying and selling. So I have 4 brokers working for me. And in June, I separated from my previous company where I was the director, and I created my own building license, now Tixon Construction, which is is now a new builder, licensed builder in Ontario. And I'm hoping that next 25 years, I'll be invited to one of my projects, a big project. I'm working on quite a few. So we have a 3-in-1, whether you sell from us, or you need financing for your project, or we build it for you. Buy land, we'll build it for you. And this is where non-residents can also own corporations, and they can work on a bigger project. There are still a restriction on smaller houses for foreign buyers right now in Ontario and Canada. So there will be a great opportunity for builders. And on top of that, a good news is that I am working on it's called Garden Suite. Garden Suite is now allowed to have a second dwelling in your backyard. And this, because of affordability issue, the Ontario government is building 1.5 million houses in next 10 years to encourage the landowner who have big lots to build extra room on the backyard. They will approve it, and it has subject to certain thing. I'll talk about that you can rent it out, or you retire, or you're slowing down, you can move to your Garden Suite and rent your house. And so this is very approved by the City of Toronto Council, and now it's being spread all over in Ontario. So this is something that you guys have to look into. That is, your government has any similar program there? Yes, go ahead, Antonio.
Good point. I saw that post that you did, that you're going to be doing something in the ground floor or in the basement, right? Redoing it into like a studio apartment in a property. But what you're talking about is like an ADU, the additional dwelling unit on the property?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. The one that you probably saw the post was regarding a legal basement apartment. And I have an episode on that. Lots of people in Ontario, they buy the property, realtors buy the property where the basement was illegally built without permit. So when the agent will buy the property, and they come to us because city gave them a notice that you have so many parking on your driveway, and you have renting it. People are complaining about it, that this is supposed to be a single house. Now we got 5-6 cars outside. So, and that's the case where city say, okay, we're going to come and inspect that, or there is an illegal basement. So what happens is that you have to have a site plan approval. That means in order for you to, I think there's some message going on here. Okay, I'm going to let Rory speak. Let me finish, then you can speak. So what happened is that in order for you to have a legal basement apartment, you need to have a site survey or boundary survey with a footprint on it to show where house is built, current house, in order for you to build the basement. You got to have a current floor plan. Lots of people, his house is 20 years old, we don't have a floor plan. But when you go to the city, they want to have a survey, boundary survey, and also original or recreated floor plan. The third one is that you are finishing the basement for rental purposes is going to be designated as a second dwelling. So that means you have a separate entrance, it's fire rated, it has a protection for ceiling. So we have to demolish the entire basement. Was done by, or whoever bought them, and they're spending almost $100,000 to demolish and rebuild something was bought by one of us, okay, who doesn't know about importance of legal permit. And also, not only you get building permit to build it, you also have an occupancy permit, because city staff will inspect your HVAC, heating, electrical, insulation, drywalling, everything before they give you a second occupancy. So this is about the legal basement. So when you are buying a house in any part of your area, you need to check that if the basement is already finished, was it legally done with a permit or not? You may be able to sue, or somebody can sue you and your brokerage if they end up rebuilding it, they have to pay $100,000 more to somebody else to build it. So that's why I created some seminar so you all can learn from it. I do not know what is staged there. Then so Rory, if you have a question, you want to say something, then I talk about the second dwelling.
No, I'm okay. I was just wishing everybody a Merry Christmas in French, Portuguese, and Spanish.
Okay. Merry Christmas to all of you. We're going to do that a little bit later before we end up. So that is called legal basement. Do you have, I'm going to ask Rory, do you have a legal basement apartment in the United States?
We do. So if you do anything without a permit, like you're talking about, if you do some construction, then it could be very costly. The city will fine you. Like you said, you might have people have done roof replacements without getting a city permit first. It could cost them, like you said, $100,000 or more. Everything has to get permitted through the municipality before you could do any kind of construction. If we did at a basement in Florida, it would be underwater, so we don't have to worry about the basement. But if you did a attic or roof, yes, it would be very costly without a permit.
Yeah.
You mean an indoor swimming pool on the basement, right, Rory?
Yes. The water table is very high in most of Florida.
So you know, here the mostly realtors, when they're listing the property, they will put, say, seller does not represent and warrant the retrofit status of the basement. Our regulator says this is not enough because you are violating the Planning Act that will allow you to build your house according to the zoning bylaws of the city. So, realtor, I am suggesting, which in my episode, I suggested that being a builder, licensed builder, and a real estate professional, I tell them, you put down is that this basement is illegally built. Therefore, whether they feel comfortable or not, but you say this was built without building permit. Therefore, we are assuming any liability for purchasing this property. They don't do that. And I start doing it to everybody. Therefore, you need, as a realtor, you have to protect yourself that this building was built, and you can go to the city website, search out, each property will have what kind of permit were issued there. And you can see that if there was any permit issued or not, and then you will know that this is not done. So lots of realtors, they don't do due diligence, and this is where they can come back and haunt them in case somebody decided to come to me and say, I want a building permit. So I have to put together the whole package. And then I learned that, sorry, they don't even have a site survey. Site survey can cost you $3,500 to $5,000 in a city. And if a realtor has not paid attention, or a basement is finished without a building permit, and they end up, because you have to have a fire resistant, about 30-minute fire rating for your exit entry, and also sealing all doors. And also you have to have a fire rating around your furnace room, and many of the other things. And this is why it's very important to know that. The other thing that I'm talking about, which Antonio was talking about, garden suite. These are a new concept because of affordability issue, shortage of housing. I am working with right now with a company. We are trying to do is a prefab the house. So that means in 3 days, when the building permit is issued by the city, in 3 days, you will have installed a garden suite, 1, 2, or 3 bedroom, from 400 to 1,300 square feet in 3 days. So I'm working on that. I think more detail will be coming in our January report. But I do not know, do you guys do that in the United States or Portugal, other places? Portugal? Can you, Antonio, tell us a little bit more?
Sure. Yeah, basically it's ADU, right? An additional dwelling unit. And as long as it's properly, depending on the size of the plot, you have X amount that you can build on that. So if you already have a pre-existing structure, a main house, you can build an annex building, call it what you may. But again, legal permission, everything through the city halls done it. And what's becoming a trend here mostly and is sort of like an individual unit, like a granny house, right? Some
Yeah.
for the in-laws or something, But what's been over in the last few years, and that's where it has to get a license for it. People would want to rent it out, and that's a specific license. Then you have to get through City Hall and also the planning everything correctly, and a special license actually called the local accommodation license. But if you're building it for your own personal use, then there's, as long as you go through the proper channels to get it built correctly, right, and everything done and legally. So if you're selling it one day, people sometimes they don't think about in the future that they may want to sell, and so they're only thinking of that moment of the buying, right? And then
Exactly.
the years down the road, 10 years down the road, hey, I want to sell it. Well, wait a minute. How did you get it legally done? Where's the documentation? Where's the permits, certificate of occupancy, all these things? A pool, building a pool, anything, adding on. If you're changing what was submitted originally in the house, of course, I think that's legal anywhere. It has the same. But the ADU has become very popular, especially now, when somebody has the main house and they'll rent it out for maybe a student or teacher, or even a small couple. Again, you're looking at maybe something around 60 70 square feet, 60 70 square meters, so it's around 600 to 700 square feet, right? It's something
common,
small, one bedroom and an office, etc. And not only it helps with the housing shortage, of course, but also affordability, rentability. You know what I mean? People paying off their mortgage, sometimes everything, it's a compensation. So we do have it here, and it is something that is very practical. Again, but going through all those proper channels, as you rightfully said, Tahir.
I am coming up with a prefab program so we can ship it around the world. And I'm looking for, today I was speaking to someone today who's going to be a kind of partner with us. And since we have this power, so next presentation next month, hopefully I'll have everything formalized and I have more information to present to you all, because that way you can even think about way of doing back home in your area. And mobility is that it's a prefab, is shipped as a one piece, and you can go install it, or you can become in a kit in a sense that you can assemble them, and we provide training for that. So this is something that we look at that and create things. Idea is that we are realtors are very innovative. We are community nation builders, and we come up with these ideas. And having me particularly a construction background and work for the one of the top engineering institutions in the United States, U.S. Corps of Engineers, believe me, they taught me LOL. And I was very young age with them, and I learned so much. And so I'm always looking into innovative way of improving things, and all those experiences are now I'm applying in real estate, right? So I'm going back to construction. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, so I was just going to give you my take on that whole concept. So Florida realtors just started taking up ADUs, like Antonio was talking about, additional dwelling units, how to promote those. We're just starting to do that. What we had was on luxury homes, if you do a separate dwelling or office with a bathroom or something like that, we would call them like a casita behind the main structure. So it could be a guest place or something you could rent, but more often it might, because Adriana will appreciate this. So I have sold a few houses in our beach area at Mayo Clinic to people transferring from Minnesota's Mayo Clinic down to Jacksonville's Mayo Clinic. So some of the houses they're doing like very luxurious, $1 million+ houses on the beach, and then they'll have like a casita in the back. The other concept that's similar to that is in our historic district, you had a lot of detached homes that were built, detached double garages that were built in the 1960s, 1950s, 1960s, 1970s. And people are going back in what was used to be a storage area above the garage. But it's like room height, it'd be like 10, 12 feet high. And they're converting those former attics or whatever you want to call them above the detached garage into rentable space. So it's like an ADU, but you don't have to permit it the same way because the footprint's already there from the garage. You're just converting the storage area into a rentable separate space. There's a lot of people in our historic district in Jacksonville that have done that, and just done like a separate rentable space because there's bathrooms, there's everything in it. Small, usually like 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom, like studios, but it's the same concept as like an ADU.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing. Antonio, go ahead.
I was just going to add on. Well, actually, when you do get it, the plans for the container is also is also a trend, right? But the prefabricated homes, do send it to me. What we've done and started working. We're going to have about 40 homes being built right now. Okay, with this builder work, we're just developing the land and going through the notions, but probably we'll get started probably in the new year. And you know how for Portugal, it's pretty new. It's a new concept, and that is the light steel frame, which probably in the U.S., instead of building the frame in wood or in Canada, etc., it's light steel frame, and it is something here. It's a trend that's actually, especially the younger, more, I would say, younger generation, because the footprint as far as more green, less cement and stuff, and all these things they're creative, not only for the planet, of course, but also because time, as you mentioned and said, when you're building everything, time is money. And so if you have there's people that really, for us, maybe if it's a small as Dory, a little casita being prefabricated, that's not an issue. I think it's just here, you still have to get the planning permission, but if you have the specs, however, design, 1 bathroom, one little, 1 bedroom, something, 600 square feet, you plop it in, it's made, it folds up, and just, boom, you have the permits, connect the water, electricity, gas, and you're done, which is pretty quick, which may be something interesting for that person that, what, I'm not really, I'm just looking for something efficient, time efficient, money efficient. And so definitely do share that information. I'm curious to see that here.
Yeah. And what we're doing right now is that because I'm a licensed builder, my focus was luxury homes or high-rise buildings, which I'm working on quite a few things. It takes a little time. In the meantime, this new opportunity came in because the government, federal and provincial government, is pouring in money to the cities, and they're helping builders to do these things. So came to my mind. I was surprised that I was talking to one of my future partner. He just returned call. He said, "Hey, I thought you were gone to Florida." He said, "No, I'm still here. I saw your email. I wanted to get back to you. It was exciting what you said, and we are ready to work with you," right? So what happened is that we get the building permit. There are a couple of things that I want to point out to you is that, first of all, lot size is one of the important. Zoning is also important for the lot. I'm talking about Ontario point of view. I'm sure it will apply to the United States as well. Zoning permits that having addition in the backyard. That's what it is, in the backyard, okay? So you can rent it, or you retired, you move into the smaller unit and you rent the main one for give you money for your expenses, okay? So height is an issue, whether city will allow certain heights, because there are single story or double story, depending on the size of the land. United States, there's a lot of big lands, you can go horizontal instead of going vertical, okay? So, and also time frame. So what we are doing is we're going to be planning a meeting with them probably after Christmas to discuss, and we will be taking care of all the building permit, also all the utility connection, and get it ready for summer. They're telling me in 1 to 2 days, they're out. It's all connected and you're out. And this is how it's going. So now if I am to looking into overseas shipment point of view, that would be another point of view for me, because I think it's very reasonable. Our Canadian dollar is weak. So it's ready, complete, beautiful units. So ranging from 400 minimum up to 1,300 double story. It can be done and it can be shipped. So I have to talk about whether we ship it in a package or give them fully assembled because of handling issues, right? So there could be 1 or 2 parts that connect them online, and we give you all the drawings, what is needed, to mount on the concrete pad where all the utility connections are done, and then you can just do it yourself. We provide videos and training for that. So that's what I'm working on right now. So, Andriana, do you have something like that in your area?
Yes, we do, and we are starting talking about it. I don't know about prices yet or anything, but I know the city councils are talking about BUIs and start putting that in the backyards of some houses. As you said, it depends on the piece of land and the type of house. But if they allow to put another structure, yes, we are talking about that now, and I think it's the future because of affordability now in United States.
And
Yes.
the good thing about it is they are CSA approved in Canada. That's fully certified. And I have to talk to the Housing Construction Regulatory Authority for Ontario, being a builder, whether do we need a 10-year warranty, because the new construction we provide 7-year warranty. But would they fall into that or not? So I have to check that before anything I finalize with them. So this was something interesting I thought that to share with you and see when you are buying and selling. And like Tony mentioned, that it's okay when you're using it for yourself, but when you plan to sell it, people want to know, how did you get that second dwelling on the and I tell you, the city will penalize you if you build something without permit. Because not only that you have to build permit, because when they do the building permit, they verify all the engineering, all the bylaws, Ontario building codes, everything to make sure it's safe for occupancy, okay? Then they do all the inspections, and the inspections are checked, approved, then they give you second dwelling occupancy. So similarly, this will be a totally detached second unit. If you have a finished basement, there could be a second unit. This will be a third unit, but it will be detached. But it will have the same address. So that means you are selling all together as one. And you don't want to sell something that you built without a permit. And this is something new that was very exciting. And in terms of our real estate, I'm going to give you, show you a little bit screen. Then we'll talk about very brief. Our interest rates are going down. We just have another reduction. So 1.75% have gone down to 2024 as compared to before. So we are projecting, I have a couple of polls on LinkedIn where I'm asking people to give projection and predictions. And we thought that our interest rate will go down 1.5. Actually, it went by 1.75. Okay, she just joined. So this is amazing to see that. So I'm going to do a small presentation very quickly just to give you the update, and then we come back and continue our conversation. So thank you, Leslie, for joining. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm off going to show some properties. So this is it. You got me here. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all of you, and I wish you all the best. Leslie, we have a very good conversation about legal basement apartment and also garden suite. This is something that you missed that, because in Ontario now, because of shortage of housing affordability issues, they are allowing to build an independent unit on the backyard, provided that you meet certain standards, zoning, height, space, all those sizes. So this is something that you learn. I will be coming up a proposal because I'm a licensed builder. So we're coming up with a Pre-Fab program, homes for second dwelling. And before I forget that, when you're doing a cottage, when you have by the lake or by the ocean, and you have a 50, 60 acre land that you want to build the cottages, where we can provide this Pre-Fab, so you can install them much cheaper than anything else, and ready to install and help you guys to build these cottages for your clients. Maybe I get a license to come to the United States again one more time.
You totally should. Each state has its own licensing regulations.
Yeah.
Florida is, you almost have to have a PhD to get it, but Virginia's not so bad. Texas is good, but yes, this is so needed, so needed.
Yeah, this is a big, yeah. This is very important to make sure that we train. We have a Rory has a lot of designation. We can use him to represent us in Florida. No.
Right. Have you gone to the International Builder Show?
There you go.
The International Builder Show for NAHB.
No, I didn't because we just starting this new concept, and hopefully we'll have these things ready in this year, 25, because I am projecting a lot of business in this area.
Great. Because next year, I believe it is in Orlando, the International Builder Show. This year, it's over in Vegas. It's Vegas for 2 years, Orlando for 2 years. Flips back and forth. But at that, it's international, so it has people from all over the world.
Yeah, no, it's amazing what we are doing now. I just spoke to my partner who's working with me, and I tell you, I can see there's so much potential, so much business for all CIPS for us, and we're going to be doing it a lot. I will have some presentation coming up in our January convention, our connectivity conference, and you will have a more detailed pictures and literature information, and then we can work on a few things. Each one have any client interested to do something, and we'll provide more information to you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so and I'm going to do by share my screen, and then we can do a small presentation, and then we go from there. Rory, before I do this, stop sharing. I have to attend to something. Could you please just take care of a few things and update and give me 1 minute break, please, if you don't mind. Rory, you can take over.
All right. Good notice. So good to see everybody. Good to see you, Leslie. So I'll give you a quick update on the Northeast Florida market and Florida in general. Over the last 6 months, we're a little different than the rest of the country. Our inventory is actually starting to stabilize. I know there's still short inventory, probably still up north in Texas, but Northeast Florida, there's been so much building going on, and because of the interest rate increase and price increase in our area, it's actually we're at about a 5 to 6 month supply of inventory, which is pretty hot, pretty stable.
Wow.
Buyers and sellers. So our price has gone up like everyone else's, but Jacksonville still tends to be, as far as the Southeast U.S. is concerned, a very affordable area as far as the major metros. Just as a reminder, like I do residential, commercial, businesses, land, everything. I've been challenged because of going into the elections with some businesses I was trying to sell. I'm trying to sell a Cuban bakery, long-term lease only. And then a friend of mine who's Iraqi, who's one of my agents, we just partnered on a listing that's an Arabic grocery store. So I just got like stuff all over the place.
Have fun.
Well, it's fun unless you can't sell it.
Right.
If it sits for like 4 to 6 months, it's not that fun, but it is interesting. And Jacksonville is becoming a more cultural area. People from around the world tend to think of Jacksonville as being very commercial, which it is, and industrialized. And we have a major airport and highway system, CSX. It's one of the major hubs for the train and freight. But we are catching up little by little to Orlando and Miami as far as international interest. Different countries as far as global, and I'm just throwing this in because we're all CIPSs, right? So different countries in Northeast Florida We've always had a strong Vietnamese and Filipino base, and of course Canadians. And by the way, Tahir, I don't know if I told you, we signed in Boston at the NAR convention. My association signed a MOU with Korea.
Yes.
So Sharon,
Wow.
Congratulations.
we went to the we went to the reception that Korea had up there, and been working very closely. I like Sharon von Schoenberg. She's a great lady, very smart. So we did do that. She's supposed to send me an original signed copy, but she told me that you guys are having postal strikes and things going on.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm
So-
like, I want my MOU. I signed it, but I haven't
Yeah.
gotten our copy yet.
You want to have a seal also on top of that. Look nice, like a seal.
Yeah, so that was very good. And then when I do go to Panama and later in January, I am signing my third MOU in 12 months with the president of Beer because we're going during their trade conference and expo in Panama. Um, so my last kind of like final duty as outgoing president will be signing my third MOU in 12 months. So we'll have one with India, with Canada, and with Panama. So then I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then I'm turning it over to our incoming president.
Fantastic, fantastic. So let
Perfect.
me do a little bit presentation to give you idea. Adriana, this is the first time you join us or before you have joined?
No, I have joined sporadically. Unfortunately, your meetings coincide with some other. I am also director of SPAR, and I am in DEI committees of SPAR and MARC, which are the Minneapolis and St. Paul associations. So all the meetings kind of coincide. So I have to attend those meetings. So,
Yeah.
but I have been in a couple of your meetings.
Good thing about is that this is being recorded. We have 45 conferences for 45 months in the past. They're all on YouTube. You can watch them anytime you want. And lots of friends we have made through it. I was fortunate to go to NAR conference in 2022. I met Rory and his lovely wife and many other friends there. It was fantastic, to knowing people through our conference, then personally meeting with them. It was amazing. And many, many friends that I met there, they were all joining our conference. So I'm going to do a small presentation now, just to give you a little idea, and then we will go to this way, share. Let me see. Okay, just 1 second. I have to move this up. And here it is. So, slide. So we, am I missing anybody here? Okay. So basically this is our 46th Global Connectivity Conference. And this is a basic thing. We talk about that all the time. That creating connectivity, increase awareness, building consumer confidence, and building good ethic and practices. And obviously, the word is in your hand. This is what I say to CIPS. You have word in your hand because of connectivity that we have as CIPS partners. We have created this connectivity. We have confidence to refer. And before I really forget, I'm going to ask you something that maybe there is a referral for you as well. So we're following all the profession. We're governed by the highest professional standard of CIPS designee of NAR. And this is the new Toronto Regional Real Estate Board area map, the way I be able to serve a client who wants to buy any property in Toronto. So this is our latest November statistic. You can see from here, without going to details, 416 is a central location, which is Toronto, and 905 is city of Mississauga, Brampton, Oakville, Milton, Oshawa, East Side. So these are 905 areas. So 416 is basically Toronto, East, West, North, South. They're all Toronto area. So you can see from here detached homes and all prices as compared to 905, they are high in 416. Detached home is 1.97 almost, and Sammy is 1.25, townhomes 904,000, condo units 713,000, and 905 is 1,369,000. So you can see there is about 330,000 difference in detached home. It's an average price anyway. Similarly, there is a Sammy. You can see there's Sammy. Sorry. 1 second. Sammy, you can see that there is a 956,789, almost $300,000 difference. Similarly, townhomes. So if you look at that year-over-year change, this is the average price change. 416 compared to November last year, 519% in detached home and 2.8% increase from last November, and there's a 3.9% combined together. Semi-detached is 2.8% increase in 416 and 0.8% in average price increase. And townhome was minus 6.1 in 416, but 905 was 2.7. And you can see the condo in 416 was minus 0.3 and minus 7.6. So condo was bad for everyone. This is a standard. As you can see, the sale prices. We have a sale price increase 40.1% because interest rate went down in November, and December again, it went down. So you will see a lot more sale coming in December as well.
Right.
So average new listing, we have 6.6% increase. And active listing, 30.2% more listing active because lots of people are coming in for renewal. They're coming in the market and they're trying to make sure that, everybody who cannot sell it, they cannot buy it, they cannot sell it, and listing will increase. There is an episode on YouTube, it's called Buying, Selling, or Renewing Your Mortgage. I suggest to all of you, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe that because I explain who should buy it and who should sell it. If you're not buying it, you're not selling it, you got to have renew your mortgage. So there was a big, all three topics I talk about my episode is on YouTube. Average price compared to November increased 2.6%. A list day on the market is taking longer to sell, 24%, and property day on the market is 25.6%, so it's taking longer. So this is a historic 23. We have sold 65,884. Our average price was 1,126,279. And we have done 11 months of sale. We are at 64,277. And average price is 1,120,300. So I am very positive that in 20, because we have interest rate reduction in December, we will exceed the sale definitely, and I'm expecting at least 1% increase in average price for 2024, and that's the difference. This is a history for last 10 years. You can see in 2011, the average home was 464,989. And 22, it was 1,190,740. Imagine that 3 times the price of the average home. So this is very historic information that I share with everybody. So this is the projection for Canadian Real Estate Association. They are saying Canada-wide, we will expect 5.2% sale activity increase as compared to 23. We were negative in 23 as compared to 22. And they're projecting 6.6% forecasting for 2025. So we are in Ontario, so we are expecting 1.5% based on Canadian Real Estate Association forecasting in 24, and 25 will be 9.9%. So we are preparing ourselves for big sales in 2025. So this is the average price forecast. So we are expecting that In 2024, 0.9% across Canada. This is what I was thinking. At least we expect 1% increase in our province, and they're projecting 4.4% in 2025. So we are in Ontario, where they're showing a minus 1.6 projection for Ontario, and they're showing 2.4% projection for 25. So this is a standard information. I think we already discussed that before. To give you some perspective that we are going to break even or maybe a little bit more than what we have in Ontario for 2024. So going forward. So if anyone wants to share figures, please feel free to share that. Rory, you want to share something, information on your side? You always come.
Yes. I mean, I did a little bit when you were gone for a second. So I mentioned like some of the trends and stats. One other thing I forgot to mention earlier about Panama is, I don't know if you guys know, but FIAPSI is scheduled for Panama now this year for December 2nd through 5th, I believe. So, and then my board's actually doing another trade mission March 7th through 11th to Panama. So there'll be a lot of Panama activity going on this year. But like I said, I'm going with the Texas Association January 19th. So
Wonderful. Yes, Antonio?
So, Rory, fact that you probably know, talking about Panama, did you know that there's publications throughout the year that publish the top 10 countries for retirement? Guess who's at number 1 this year?
Panama.
Panama.
Yep,
And
exactly.
I saw your post. I think Portugal was either second or third.
Second. Yeah, we held the second last year as well. So we maintain strong. We let others jump in every once in a while because Portugal, in the like Panama too, consistently, Costa Rica, etc. There, Nicaragua, they consistently rank. We actually have 6 countries this year altogether in Europe, believe it or not. The top 10, 6 are in Europe, right? So Italy, France, as well, Spain, Greece, Malaysia is number 10, but Panama is number 1. And actually, when you talked about FIAPSI, that is the 44th Global Leadership Summit. That's what you're talking about. No, December 2nd to the 5th. And actually, I met the president of FIAPSI Canada in Barcelona just recently when I was there with the FIAPSI Global Leadership Summit. Great. And I think that's something next year, definitely there in with the NAR conference in Houston. I'm going to be in the US for about a good 4 months, 6 months. So definitely visit my good friend Adriana, you there, Rory, doing a lot of tours on Portugal from West Coast to East Coast in between NAR events. And then there, New Jersey, of course, my old stopping grounds. We do a lot of business with the Portuguese community, in around Newark and even Boston, outside of Boston, Fall River, all the Massachusetts, let's just say, Rhode Island, lots of Portuguese. So even in Florida, I'm going to be doing with a few associations. So if you want me to do something for you in the Jacksonville Association or anything, I'm going to be in Florida. I'll be there around the Thanksgiving time. Because I'm working something out with the Florida Manatee, with also Beth. She's the coming in president. Also with the Emerald Coast as well. With the San Antonio, right? There hopefully or something. So definitely there. But Panama has a lot going on. It always has. I mean, it's been number 1 a few years already, etc. But I can see why. I mean, and these are, the healthcare, the dollarized economy, etc. So definitely, maybe we'll run into each other. Well, definitely at the NAR conference, I'll be taking out a booth. Tahir, I'm going to be back in Toronto in May, also for Realtor Quest, and we have a booth there as well. So I'll be looking forward. Maybe a planned trade mission that you may have there to visit some properties and everything. I love what you organized this past.
Did you miss that? You did join our tour.
Oh, I was there.
Wasn't it fantastic, eh?
Yeah, you were
exactly. So plan something again. Yeah,
you were at the
Denny
Nigeria.
and Rory was there too.
Rory was also.
Yeah, the Nigeria presentation. Right?
Exactly. Rory was there from
Yeah.
they did the Alaro presentation, right? And so Alaro City. And
Alaro City. The problem with Alaro City is because of the price tag is a little bit small, but incentive was not there in terms of for the realtors. If you're selling $80,000 and you're giving 1%, who is going to work for $800?
Right. Nobody.
Whereas when we have people who buy the property, in average home, like I shared with you, a condo apartment is 700,000-800,000, and a detached home is 1.5. I'm talking about single home, single garage home, 3-bedroom, for less than 1,500 is $1.5 million.
Jeez.
So if I'm going to get 2.5% of that, why would I recommend somebody for 80,000 and get $800? And then you have a risk also because of due diligence. This is why it's very, very important. So I asked them to increase their compensation, but then many people risk factor the issues. I only deal with countries that have a consumer protection program. This is very important for realtors and real estate. Our regulator, when I do Realty Coffee Talk on my Avaz TV every Thursday, so I asked my regulator, what will happen if somebody send me $1,000 referral fee for something that I did? And he asked me, did you do due diligence? I said, yes, I did. I hired a lawyer to go check it out, but he took $500 from me and only got $500. He said, that's a good, smart thinking. You got $500, but you have a lawyer review the document. But if you didn't do that, you got paid and you left the consumer vulnerable to a fraud or some other thing happen. And do that country has a consumer protection laws? Is their deposit protected? And I say, I don't think so in a certain area, right? He said, this is where you have to perform due diligence. That's why I hired a lawyer. And I said, I don't want your money for $500, but here's a freebies, get something done. I didn't take the money because I just want to make sure that $500 I'm creating a more obligation. This is why I emphasize the CIPS cooperation and partnership is the best thing ever happened to us.
Yep.
Because when you are making refer to a CIPS partner in that jurisdiction, he or she is licensed to practice in that jurisdiction, and you get a 0.25% or whatever the fee that you get, fine. You are in safe hand. And this is where I say you have that power, words power in your hand, because you're dealing with a partner who is qualified, licensed, he has education, training, and obviously confidence when you're building and joining a conference like this. How often we talk. This is very powerful. Our association, we have a brilliant mindset in our ladies and men's, in our profession, our network, huge. We are touching almost 400 CIPS in our global real estate profession network.
Wow.
And Antonio, when you and Spencer get back, I want to report on Vietnam. Speaking of countries that we don't know how stable the property ownership is, because I looked at that. I almost went to we tried to do the trade mission to Vietnam. And the only reason we went to India instead of Vietnam is because it's hard for Vietnamese to be able to buy property in the US, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's changed in the last year or two, but I'd be interested to find out how stable is the opportunity. And some of it was currency, but more of it was just the ability for Vietnamese, because of their government, to own property overseas, especially in the United States. So I'm interested to see how that goes.
This is very important because we have a Proceed of Money Laundering and Terrorist Financing Act. If we have to look at the money who's transferring, how the deposits are made. These are all common things that we face. I get hundreds, because I have so much social media, I get how many people want to do business with me. When you ask the questions, they want your WhatsApp number and they want to talk to you directly and this and that. But nobody say, I have a partner in CIPS in your city, in your country, who will reach out to you if you want to do business with me. But they don't want to hear that. They want to deal directly with you. And that's where you can see, hey, that's a red flag for you.
Yep, big red flag.
If I have someone in Jackson, Florida, wants to do business with me, sure, I will do it. I have my partner there. Rory, here's his number. I can give you a number, but they don't. And when they don't, then you just drop them. And this is why it's very important to make your refer to your partner that you trust and do business. So while we are almost end of our time, I would like to take this opportunity to wish you Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all of you. May God bless you and your family a joyful, healthy, prosperous year 2025. So thank you very much, Larry, Andrea, Antonio, Leslie. And Leslie, you want to say anything about your project or anything? Because you came late.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes, we're I'm on the board of directors now for my local association as well, which is very exciting. And then also the government affairs. I'm back on the government affairs committee, which I'm thrilled with. And you know, there's an awful lot going on in Loudoun County, and we happen to have a lot of data centers. I think 120 now, and it's all very, very interesting. And the market here is it's still very active. Not a lot of inventory. Prices have, you know, are starting to go up, and the rates have come down a little bit. So it just makes it really advantageous for us to continue to move forward.
Wonderful. Rory, you want to say something? We're going to end up closing it so everybody can say Christmas. Happy New Year.
Yes. I already mentioned everything about our market, but yeah, just have happy and safe holidays, especially if you're traveling. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, and Happy New Year. So
thank you. Adriana?
Yes, thank you. I have a question as well regarding the prefab homes. You said they can be shipped. Are they gonna be shipped all over the world, or
I am planning. My goal is all over the world.
Okay, awesome. Then if you can send me some information about them, I would be glad to hear from you.
Are you in our group at the Global Real Estate Professional Network? Are you in our group?
I am in. Yes, I am.
Okay, so
in Facebook, yes.
WhatsApp me, email me something, then I can send you. I will be sharing. My goal is that hopefully by next in January 30th is our next meeting. I will have a flyer, brochures for each package available, and then we'll look into the logistic. Each one has to look at the shipping cost from here to. It's going to be FOB our plant. And shipment to your location, ready to go. You can just put it on the platform, and your house is ready in 1 day or 2 days, just like that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay. You're welcome. Antonio, your turn.
Just happy holidays, and thank you. Thank you again for putting this together. It's always a pleasure to see. And
it's always
Leslie. Yeah, first time I met Leslie, so nice to meet you as Leslie. I think you're in Florida. You're in Florida, right, as well, with Rory?
No. I'm in Northern Virginia.
In Northern Virginia.
Are you with the NVAR, the North Virginia Association of Realtors?
No, I'm with the Dulles Area Association of Realtors. I used to be with NVAR, but
okay. I was just on the phone with the incoming president. We got some things planned, not only for Portugal, but with the association there. Maybe an MOU. Yeah, with Nana Noy. She's from Britain. She's fabulous. Love Nana.
Yep. It is.
Leslie, you have the last word.
Okay. Well, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. And it's always a pleasure to be on here. Always a pleasure to meet people from all over the world, and to keep ourselves educated and working with trusted people. So thank you.
Thank you very much. May God bless you all. All the best. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas to all of you.
Happy holidays to everybody.